Hello everyone and welcome to DripEcho, a show produced by Water Drip Capital where we dive into the world of crypto and blockchains from a VC perspective. I'm your host Janction, and today we have the honor of having Hara, the founder of Junctions, with us. We are going to talk in depth about his business journey. So Hara, could you say hello to our audience?
Yes, sure. So hello everyone. So I'm Hara. So I'm also living in Japan, and I'm from. So basically, I was at KPMG in 11 years experience. So I basically accountant. So and also with some good experience for IPO, M&A, of course, audit and so on. Of course, including the knowledge of cryptos. Then just joined the Japanese largest crypto, Jasmy, as a CFO in 2018. So like a 6 or 7 years ago. So I actually wrote white paper, and also I started to communicate with some lawyer and exchanges and so on. Then just Jasmy can list on Coinbase and Binance. Only Jasmy can get some experience. Then also increasing some valuation up to 2.5 billion in this recently market cap. So that's why it's really famous project from Japan. Then for Jasmy, also Jasmy provides IoT platform founded by Sony's president, former Sony's president, and also mainly focus on IoT platform and also manage some users' behavior, some users' data using this laptop or using these IoT devices like a sensor and so on. So. But actually, it's really amazing market in air industry. So that's why I actually aim to adapt in this hot market by myself. So that's why I established new entity, Jasmy Labs, and to start to promote in almost 1 year and a half ago, and also this Junction focusing on AI industry, and also we build own layer 2. Also, we have some two services. The first one is providing idle GPU on this like a Junction cloud platforms. Already working for around 4,000 nodes on this market. And also after Chinese New Year, we can open the test environment for some academic from Japanese universities, Tokyo universities, and some startups who want to use the GPUs for creating their own large language models.
Yes.
And the second one is also utilizing some data or some storage services, because we already connect some GPUs and also the devices who have also storage or some usage of some data demand. So that's why I just also start from Jasmy's product and also newly build some GPUs platform. So to adapt this this market. Especially we just located in Japan, and we can get some investment from Chinese and Korean and also US industry, and also have some experience to list on Coinbase and US market. So that's why it's also getting more famous, and we just want to expand this business from Japan, like APAC industry, to Europe and US in 2025. Yeah, that's a little bit long, but that's all. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Hara. So, and thank you for your sharing, and thank again for joining us today. You have already told our audience get to know you better and tell us a little bit about yourself and Janction and Jasmy. But my first question is about yourself. So, crypto is quite a unique choices, and you have already told us you read the web book. So I think crypto is not an easy one at that. So looking back, would you think most of your life have been spent in Japan, or have you spent a significant amount of time overseas? So which place has had a bigger influence on you?
Oh, actually, I grew up Japan for more than 30 years. Then just also first also experience to visit overseas to learn English in Philippines in 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Before that, just only focus on to learn and also to solve the problems in Japanese companies. But it's KPMG, so of course I'm including the global and overseas project. For example, I was in charge of construction company for maybe biggest one from Japan. Also, there are a lot of entity from the APAC and US and Europe and so on. So I often communicate with the global KPMG's office who want to solve the tax problem from Japanese entity or ask something and also communicate with them and so on. So that's why I just usually use the English communication even in KPMG, but I think it's getting better because I have to talk with English-based investors in Junctions, right? It's also really important for us because Jasmy doesn't have experience to get investment from VCs or institutions. So like a kind of some only individual investor we were facing. So that's why Junction should be focusing on involving some well-known some institutions or some market makers, some VCs and so on, with some skillful or some resources or communities, medias and so on. So that's why just also getting improved for this English communication. Also, it's a really good experience for myself.
Let's talk more about Japan's community. So it sounds like you really saw the potentials in the decentralized early on. That must have been a game changer. So let's talk about your other big project, Jasmy. I noticed on your Twitters you mentioned Japan No.1 Token. Yes, Jasmy has achieved huge success in Japan. So a lot of people are curious about how you managed to accomplish this. So could you share the story of how Jasmy became such a success in Japan?
Yeah, sure. I also Jasmy established 2016, and also firstly, Jasmy started from only semiconductor providing companies, with some getting license from Hong Kong-based or Taiwan-based companies. Then, but Jasmy is already aimed to solve the problems for decentralized data. So that's why Jasmy switches their business into blockchain in end of 2017. Then I saw Jasmy could get the investment from individual in early 2018, and also I joined it after a fundraising from individuals. Then I just also before I joined it, so Jasmy didn't have any idea how to use tokens. So it's also like a kind of some stock. As they think, stock, like security, right? So that's why this token is founded by Jasmy, that's all. So there are no idea how to use it. So like a utility token or governance token and so on. So that's why I just had to learn about this industry, especially there was some ICO product. So that's why I actually learned about some good example, and also it's similar to RWA, real world asset. So how to make value from this crypto. So it is also my ideas. So that's why it's also data. So if Jasmy can provide decentralized DID, and add value to this DID, and this means also providing this ID or providing this data to others, and also get a reward on this wallet or on this kind of some address. It's also kind of some we can create some token economy, I think. So that's why this is also in my idea, and also I had to adapt for Jasmy's management. It's also like a Sony's project, right? So this is also like a start line for creating some token economy and also discuss with some management. And also this concept is really adapt in US industry actually. So that's why, so one of the good impressive comment from Coinbase is you don't need to use X Sony's project, right? It's you means also me. You have great idea and also great concept to solve the problem in how to use individual information. And so with skillful and some experienced product by blockchain. So it's also like a really impressive comment from Coinbase. So that's why just also really, like we can list on Coinbase on only, we don't have US industry enough, only one person. So, and kind of some BDs in West Coast, but also we can get kind of some good, so comment and also achievement with some listing. Then just also finally we can list on some Coinbase 50. This is a kind of index, or we can involve some good market maker or big market makers like a Presto or TWF and so on. Then of course we just keep growing with some good collaborations. Also, one of the big information from Jasmy is to collaboration with good entities like Panasonic and Sony. So already 3 subsidiary companies from Sony we can collaborate with. And Japanese biggest call center, Transcosmos. Or of course, there are a lot of potential clients. So this is also like our good information, some priorities for creating some good products with some good companies, also good friend companies.
But Japan is often considered a closed market, especially when it comes to blockchains and crypto. Many people believe there is natural barriers for international projects to break through in Japan. So what do you think sets the Japanese markets apart? Why do you think many projects struggle to make a name there?
Actually, I agree with you for struggling from outside of Japanese overseas company into Japan. I think one of the reasons is regulations. For example, we Japanese people and Japanese government banned for DEX or DeFi project. So that's why there are no DeFi or DEX projects or some even token listing on exchanges, even Uniswap, right? So it's also banned, it's illegal. So that's why some of the projects who want to join Japanese market from South Korea, from China, and so on, but they can provide some, for example, some wallet exchanges functions like a MetaMask and so on. So the exchanges in wallet is also illegal from Japan. Even not only focusing on Japanese market or Japanese services. Services written in Japanese language is also kind of facing some risks. So actually, that depends on, for example, some Tom is also really getting famous project from Japan. Even yesterday, there are some kind of New Year parties in Shibuya or a kind of some Tokyos, and also really famous and getting more people who want to know, learn about some project or some progress of this project. So that's why that kind of, depends on. So maybe some of the projects set Japanese BD or Japanese people who
Yes.
living or who can speak Japan, and of course some private or some individual investors or some listing or some exchanges or communicate with some listed companies. But actually, for overseas companies who doesn't have Japanese people, it's also too difficult to communicate with Japanese big companies. But even for Japanese users or some Japanese people from overseas companies can communicate with Japanese companies. So like a kind of Sony or there are some good institutions in Japan who want to start Web3 business in regulations.
So, do you ever think about the potential limitations of relying too heavily on the Japanese market? Would you think Jasmy may face challenges if it focuses solely on Japan?
Actually, the Jasmy start from listing on overseas exchanges, then back to Japan after 9 months from TG. So, but some of the projects choose IEO, initial exchange offering from Japan, and it's also, it seems some like only focusing on Japanese industry. So it's also, I don't like it. It's also like but it's getting famous from Japanese industry, only Japanese industry. For example, some there will be Expo in Osaka in this year, and also it's really very famous event. And one of the Web3 project provides some wallet functions, but it's also, of course, well known in Japan because it's first first IEO project from Japan. But of course, every country's one doesn't know about this project.
Yes.
So that's why Jasmy is focusing on to create some a product from Japanese regulations. It's very confident and to communicate with some Japanese listed company and collaborate with them for some to solve some problem by Web3 product or by blockchain functions. But especially the market is overseas, especially APAC and US. So that's why we mostly focus on to expand market from Japan to overseas.
Yes.
And product and regulation. We just want to use it.
Has been challenging for you expanding into other markets, especially outside of Asia?
Yes, sure. But actually, already have some product from overseas APAC industry, from Hong Kong to Malaysia, Taiwan, with some blockchain PCs. So that's why already started, but it's getting famous, but not yet.
Okay, so now let's dive into a hot topic. Meme coins has recently gained a lot of attention in the crypto market. So, as a leader in the DeepIn and AI space, what's your take on this trend?
Yeah, of course, I'm yesterday was
many blockchain project founders, especially idealists, express frustrations with the current markets. Have you ever felt disheartened by the state of industries? A lot of people are calling center tokens like TRUMP it's a shitcoins. What do you think about that?
Actually, it's also kind of culture to issue meme coin and enjoy it and pump it, dump it. That's why it's kind of culture. So that's why we are focusing on to build a project and also blockchain product and application layers. So actually, it doesn't matter from us. So, but I personally like it, but I'm not an investor for cryptos. So that's why I don't buy it. But some of my project colleagues or some friends could buy it and also pump it. So that's why it's also good functions for easily to get money, but again, for opposite side, easy to lose money even, right? So that's why it's also, I just want to provide one good example in Sony by Sony. Sony by Sony. Right. Sony also banned some of the meme coins without regulation from Sony's, Toro or Aibo and so on. So I think it's not decentralized, but it's actually good progress in Japan. Many of the normal person think this token is not offshore Trump tokens, but it's already get some money from the market before last weekend. So, but it's also culture. It's okay. We can earn money from this token. That's all. But so many people think about it's actually not good one,
Yes.
but it's culture. So that's why just Sony create this fast road to ban it. And what next? Just also I'm really curious about what next from Sony's. And also I just also want to communicate with them for
also have a
from
community.
Japanese regulation. So yes, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. A very balanced view.
Yes.
So how do you differentiate meaningful blockchain project from those that are just hype? What makes a project stand out in your eyes?
In some good roll-up function is getting famous. So some project side, it's also a really good situation because we can get some options to issue token, issue blockchains, and also build our own protocols, right? So even the Sony can choose some OP stack base or base going from Coinbase is also same, and so on. So that's why it's also kind of some blockchain technology is really famous. I think it's also for in Japanese industry there are few opportunity to hire blockchain engineers, and even if we can hire it, they don't know well about protocols or a layer one blockchain and so on. So that's why from Junction side we can hire 3 protocol engineers and from Argentina and from Greece and Spain. So and also our CTO is from Australia, so also Europe and South America's market. So that's why. So for using this roll-up function, it's really great opportunity for every a protocol layers. So cheaper price and faster than built from the all of themselves. So that's why increasing some technologies or some opportunity is also really great options. So we just want to choose some good one. And for Junction layer 2, it's also fastly choose the OP stack base, also same with Sonium. And we actually also build our own layer 1 with new consensus mechanism for proof of resource and proof of task. Resource is GPU and task is compute. So we just want to use the IPFS, even just want to collaborate with them. So to take transactions from this decentralized database and providing some data for AI product company or graphic rendering and metaverse company and so on. So that's why this is also kind of some great opportunity from us to we can get some experience from layer 2 and we can step to next the build on layer 1 with some good skillful global engineers.
So when did you actually start your business journeys? Was Junction and Jasmy your first ventures? Did you start any other companies before Junctions?
Oh, actually, I just joined Jasmy from KPMG. It's also my second career, and also the Junction is my first startup from my side.
Oh, the first is very successful.
Not yet, not yet. Also, we should getting famous.
Yes. Oh, okay. So, looking ahead, what are Junctions and Jasmine's plans for the futures? Can you give us a brief overview of Junctions' roadmap for 2025 and the strategic directions you're heading towards?
Yeah. Firstly, just for talk about some node providing and TGE. So we set max amount like a budget or not actually budget, also limit node providing amount is 200K. Then now we can get 4,000 around 4,000 node from this market from last year end, like a year end, or the end of the 2024. So only 3 weeks and so on. So mainly focus on APAC industry. Then if we can achieve like a 10K nodes, so we just also already prepared, but we just start to list on some exchanges, mainly focusing on Bybit and including perpetual market. So that's why just also we think this Q1, we just have to learn for TGE and aggregating some like a node or operating services. It's for confidence, right? Then just also the GPU providing services. Already now actually testing for connecting some like GPU resources from NVIDIA's and some like Linux or Windows and so laptop and so on. Then after Chinese New Year, we can start to test for commercial based also usage, like Tokyo University's like R&D and kind of some with some good reports and so on. So maybe it takes end of some March and so on. So it's also like inside of this Q1. Then just also want to provide more and more for commercial base. So it's kind of some, yeah, we just start for next April. We just want to provide it. Then after TGE, we just already start to talk with some liquidity provider or market makers with some skillful experience or some like kind of some, yeah, really famous one, and already collaborated with some Jasmine one. So it's also increasing some token liquidity from the market and more like easy to invest it, easy to buy and sell on these exchanges. On the other hand, so Junctions is also named by JCT. It's also firstly great JCT. JCT means Jasmy Chain Tokens.
Jasmy's Chain's token.
Yes, Jasmy is only issued by ERC20 on Ethereum. And we just want to build our mainnet on Junctions. So on Junctions, yeah, exactly. So that's why just we aim to implement the Jasmy on Junctions. It's also really famous and already valued from this market. So mainly focusing on payment on this Junction GPU providing services and any other services or dApps like airdrop reward and so on. So, but just want to create token economy for Jasmines and want to involve Jasmine users from this market. So that's why next Q2 or Q3, we just want to implement Jasmine on Junctions layer.
Sounds exciting. So we can't wait to see how Junctions and Jasmines evolves. Thank you so much, Hara, for sharing your journey and insights with us today. So we're looking forward to seeing Junctions continue growth and success in the future. Best of luck to you and Junction and Jasmy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joy.